Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Sarah Crane. I'm the Director of Product Management here at Kuali, and I'll be hosting this session. So unlike our other webinar style sessions, this session will be an open discussion. Susan Dennis from Boise State University is going to be leading the discussion and has some topics prepared. Thank you so much to Susan for volunteering to lead and direct the session. When you'd like to share something, we just ask please unmute yourself then so that Susan can see that you're interested in participating in the conversation. Otherwise, feel free to stay on mute. So thanks for coming. We're looking forward to the conversation. And Susan, want to turn the time over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. As you can see, this is our Customer Connect community session with myself, Susan Dennis from Boise State University. This is our opportunity to connect, to find new ways to solve institutional challenges and brainstorm. And I'm very excited to do that. This is me, and I'm Susan at Boise State University, and our FTE is standing around 17,000. So we are not a giant school, but we're the biggest in Idaho. And I wanted to talk about great things that you've done with Kuali, questions you have about Kuali, pain points. I want to talk about everything. So let me tell you a little bit about where we are. We started our implementation in August of 2019, just as a kickoff. And we actually went live this past August, and we are using several forms. We are using Workflow 2.0. We are also using SysConnector to take our course information and put it directly into our PeopleSoft SIS system. So we have a lot of juggling to do. And our workflow is somewhat complex because we have, of course, as most of you probably do, departments that do things a little differently or don't have a college committee. And but we came from a paper system. So this has rocked our world in good and bad ways. I mean, it's been great overall. The faculty has been really accepting of it. So I'm very excited about that. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. We are going live with part of the catalog here in the next couple of months, mainly the programs and courses, and look forward to full implementation of that. So what can I help you with? What can you help me with? Please, somebody talk about what you have found to be wonderful or what you found to be a pain point. Don't all stare at me.
Susan, congratulations on getting implemented. I am so excited to have you and ASU now, who are PeopleSoft schools, which is really exciting for us as well. Woohoo, yeah. One of the questions, I mean, I don't know if it's pain points or whatever. I'd like to know how your implementation went with integrating with PeopleSoft, and how you maybe did prerequisites and maybe your cross listings, and how I know that can be difficult.
Sure. Actually, we had great help on the Kuali side and on our side to get the course data into PeopleSoft. They created a file for us from Kuali based on all our ifs, ands, or buts, because we have different effective dating for new courses versus updates versus everything. And it actually loads everything for the course pages in PeopleSoft, which I am thrilled with. So what they do is they generate a file, and we did a lot of mapping between our codes and PeopleSoft and then the Kuali fields. And we then pick it up through our Booby process and the SysConnector, and have a component interface to load it into PeopleSoft. And that process runs every 5 minutes. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I think. And so it's really been slick. We have not had many problems at all. And it also feeds the PeopleSoft course ID back to Kuali, which is really cool. So we can have that individual identifier to make sure we're not creating multiple of the same class. Cross-listing, I was very interested to hear about the cross-listing gadget they have. We have a question on our form that marks whether a course is cross-listed or not, what is cross-listed with, that they have to tell us the course, and what departments are involved. And the only issue we've had with that so far is the departments are not talking to each other. So we need them to cross-list their courses. They both need to put in their courses cross-listed. So English is cross-listing with history. That really wouldn't happen, but they both need to do it. We're getting one doing it. So that's a point where we don't have everything figured out.
Do you use anything like a data dump into maybe like a Tableau or something to compare PeopleSoft, your SIS, and also Kuali to make sure that they are synced?
We are actually doing a lot of that, not manually, but kind of manually. We pull the reports from Kuali and then we pull the reports from PeopleSoft. And so far I've been doing variations of VLOOKUPs because the field values don't match other than course ID. So we're looking to do something much more automatic. But since we have just started getting proposals here well, we went live in August, so, but it's taking a while to get through the workflow in some cases, since this is new to our faculty. But we're definitely doing a lot of checking. And eventually, I don't think we'll have to check it all because I found very minimal problems. It's been really, really slick. I'm very excited about it. Please,
Susan,
someone else say something.
Yeah, Susan, this is Devin Jensen here from the University of Central Florida. So we're currently kind of building out our Kuali instance, getting ready for implementation for fall 2021 here. And I just wanted your thoughts a little bit in terms of maybe some of the strategies or actual practical things that you maybe did as it related to training your graduate community or your community at Boise State to be ready to use Kuali, as it's been implemented.
Well, that's a very good question. We actually had a number of the University Curriculum Committee and the Graduate Curriculum Committee come in when we were first building our forms. They were just examples, but then we got them in there to test and say what they liked, what they didn't like. And we made sure to publicize that this was coming. This is something we wanted for years and years and years. So we publicized it heavily that it was coming, it would be automated. And then to actual training, we did individual department trainings for those that wanted it, or college trainings for those that wanted it. And we actually held several at the beginning of the fall semester and during the summer, if any of the faculty were available, and did full training as best we could, the full demo, explaining things, how it worked. And then we also made sure to put out how-to directions on our website, as well as links to Kuali. So I think publicizing it was the best thing we did. Now, sadly, a lot of the faculty didn't come to the trainings. And when push came to shove, they would contact me for individual trainings, which, I didn't mind.
I know when we had a previous product and it wasn't working for us, now we move into a new one. And I know with our previous product and our team here is planning on doing the same things. We did some Camtasia videos where you can kind of just go on your screen and you can kind of click and guide, so that if people can't make a regular kind of training session, however that may be, they have that option to kind of go back to that as a resource and to see. So we're going to potentially plan on doing similar things like that with Kuali, just to kind of open it up, because there's a lot of people that when it comes to curricular matters, they may only use it once a year, if
Exactly.
at all. And so, yeah, you may do a face-to-face training session or an on-campus training session, in September, but if it's not until the next September that they actually use it, anything you would have said is gone. So
Exactly. And our
Yeah.
programs, we're having the faculty enter all the program rules. So that is complex, but they are doing really, really well. And they've said it's very intuitive. The faculty have been really receptive to it. And Linda, I think you asked me earlier about requisites and that too. We pulled our requisites out of PeopleSoft and reformatted them into Kuali language. And they actually loaded them along with our courses into Kuali. And that was great. Now they had plans to load our programs, but we ran out of time and technical ability. So we actually built all of the programs and our emphases by hand. And those do not go back into PeopleSoft. That's just too complex to try and code at this point. But we have high hopes. So has anyone found, is anyone else using Workflow 2.0? How's it gone?
Hi, so I'm from SNHU. Yeah, we've been a Kuali customer for several years now. We just implemented Workflow 2.0 in December, I think it was. Time flies, but so far it's been great. I used the old workflow a lot, like I said, for years, and the new one has a lot more flexibility to it. The notifications are great for it as well. So ultimately, it's opened up a lot of doors that we didn't have before. So it is a really big advantage for us, especially knowing like it'll only grow in the future. And right now, it's already doing more than the old one could. So we're super excited about it. It's working great for us.
Yeah, we went live with it. We switched over not long before we went live. And so we were impressed with all the new functionality and definitely wanted that.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Megan from the University of Washington. We're going to switch to Workflow 2.0 this summer, I think. Mike, so we're on 1.0 currently. Mike, how did training your users go with the new workflow? Was it a shock for them or?
So by users, do you mean people editing the workflow or like faculty submitting?
Oh, faculty submitting.
Okay. No, that was actually really easy because I didn't have to do much for that at all. Because ultimately, like they're going to get this similar information on their side. They're going to see the history of the proposal. If anything, I think it shows more history now because in the old one, like let's say something sent back, you can find that information in the audit log, but now that record is kept there in the little viewer. So, I mean, the only adjustment was that it's kind of going from a visual format to a more list-based style. And at first people were apprehensive to that, but really that faded quickly. But yeah, we haven't had any issues as far as faculty or power users or anyone adapting to it.
And is the experience, for approvers pretty much the same too?
Yeah, for approvers, I'd say that the big difference is just the language, like rejecting, turning to denied, but ultimately it's status quo. I think honestly, as the system administrator, I'm the one who sees the huge benefits from it. For everyone else, it's like, I'm sure they wouldn't notice the difference because I'm the one that's getting the streamlined processes and such.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I really love the workflow history. So you can see which step it went through, who voted. And I like the new comments feature that just came out, I think last week. I'm interested in seeing how that goes, where they can share and comment on it. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, the other thing too, not the new commenting feature, but comments within the workflow. I will say those are much more transparent now in the new viewer too. If you have faculty or approvers that leave comments. But yeah, the new commenting feature is awesome too, and I've had good feedback on that.
Question for everybody. How many rules do you have for your end users if they are doing the data entry? And that's another question. If they're doing the data entry, how many rules have you built for them for like requisites or for the programs? Come on, folks. I know some of you are already on Kuali.
I'm just trying to think. So I think for our, do you mean like how many options we give them? So like the completed, earned, we probably have 12. We shortened it significantly because some of the things just didn't apply to us, or it could be accomplished by using the other rules. So we tried to only give them the ones that they needed so that it was just a lot. It was just less confusing.
We have a very narrow amount for requisites. We have the one co-requisite, and then we have, I think, 7 for programs because of the so many options are available out there.
I think we could even shorten our list even further, because even though there are additional options, we really only ever use probably 5 of them, which is like the completed, the earned, the free-form text. That might be it.
One thing I've noticed, and I don't know, do your folks do the data entry, and do they tend to use text when they should be using a rule? Or are you guys doing the data entry? How is that working, or how is that planned for you folks?
Yeah, so in our office, the curriculum team is actually the one entering the rules based on documentation submitted. And really the goal there is they're also the ones building the degree audit and the SIS. So it's consistent across the board. And that way programs to programs are consistently formatted as well.
So is anybody having faculty do the entry or plan to?
So at the University of Utah,
I'm sorry.
Karina, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
let me scoot closer. Can you hear me better now?
It's okay.
No. Okay,
Yeah, that's
A little better.
okay. I'll just lean in. Sorry. So at the university, we do something similar to what Mike does at Southern New Hampshire. We have a combination. We have a free-form text that they can type it in, and then there is the Kuali logic that can be built. The Kuali logic is more frequently incorrect unless it's like computer science. They always seem to get it perfectly. And then we also on our same side do the degree audit, and so we build that as well.
Very
So it's a
neat.
mixture. Some
Yeah.
some are very familiar with the logic and get it 100% of the time, and others just leave it for us to do.
Yeah. We took away their add file opportunity because when we went live, we didn't have all the programs built. So we gave them the option, and several have complained, where did our add file capability go? So, but overall, they've done very well. I've been very impressed as far as cleaning up things that they have done. It has been less than I expected.
Susan, I have a question. This is Kara from Honolulu Community College. If I'm not mistaken, Boise State was the college that has gen eds.
Yes.
You're trying gen eds, so that's something that we're wanting to do with Kuali CM. But I'm wondering, how have you found that it has helped your process of getting gen eds through? And then do you only approve courses for gen ed designation once a year? Because I can imagine if you keep approving year round, how does that eventually make its way into the catalog? I mean, it's got to stop at some point. So how does that work in terms of, and can you tell me some of your experience with tracking gen ed?
Sure. Our curriculum cycle, and I don't know if you folks have this or not, is our curriculum cycle is pretty much August through November to get programs in, and we stretch it to February 15th for courses. Anything that comes in after the February 15th is probably not going to make our printed catalog. We do still do a printed catalog, and it will go on the online catalog, but pretty much we shut it off after the printed catalog has been done. So then we'll shut it off over the summer, start again next time. So the GEC form, which Ashley showed in the other session, hit it as inheritance. It's been very good because it's a completely different workflow for our general education. It goes to the GEC and several managers of those areas. And as long as the course has been created, the person can then pick the course, put in the request for whatever gen ed they want to use, and push it through. and it goes through the workflow. Once it's approved, then our catalog editor is notified and we make it official on the course.
What
And it's been very nice.
Okay, yeah, so we have similar process where we do approvals just once a year in the fall.
Mhm.
And actually, I think we end ours in September. So it's kind of early, but we have star programmers and, they need to program everything. So what about focus areas that aren't printed in the catalog? Do you manage those focus areas? Like we have an ethics focus area, we have a writing intensive focus area.
We have some teaching endorsements that we don't track. Primarily, they're in the catalog in text in the department section, but they refer to them. They're not in as a program or emphasis. We use our emphases as subplans. So if you're a chemistry major with a biology emphasis, if they have that, that's how we're using our emphasis areas. So if it's not tracked in PeopleSoft, it may be text in the catalog, but we aren't doing anything inside. Now, some of our endorsements, they wanted it to be a program, and we've created it as such.
Okay. Thanks.
So you have the flexibility to do either. Depends on what your university approves of or not.
Okay, thanks.
Now, does anyone have rolling curriculum? And how do you handle that if you do? Do you do it all the time?
So at SNU, we do yes and no. The majority, so we publish catalogs twice a year, January and July. For the most part, our program changes will align with those catalogs, but we do have exceptions throughout the year that happen in between the catalog publications. But yeah, so our committees meet every month throughout the entire year. As things are approved, the registrar curriculum team's constantly updating the SIS and making sure everything's up to date there. So it's a big collaboration between the academic groups, advising, admissions, and the whole assortment of teams that we all have. But I mean, it's gone pretty smoothly for us for years now, but it's been like that since I started in 2016, and I know well before that as well.
How many staff do you have doing that?
Like involved in that process?
Yeah, well, involved in doing the programming rules in Kuali.
Ideally, we would have more, but so that team is probably 5 people right now, the actual administrative curriculum team in the registrar's office. But with that being said, our registrar's office is like 60 people, and a lot of the people jump in if it's high volume times. So.
I'm impressed. We have well, during the whole implementation, we had 2 people because we lost a person at the beginning of the pandemic to another job. She's healthy, she's fine, but we couldn't replace that position until this year. So there was 2 of us on the catalog curriculum team. Now there's 3, but we're doing this as well as all of our PeopleSoft and other things. So that's part of the reason we knew that we couldn't enter the data ourselves. We're having a hard enough time trying to keep it clean, but we're doing it. So I'm very impressed with Kuali and the way our faculty have done it.
Yeah, I'd say similar to you, like you were saying earlier, like we have, if they haven't submitted a proposal by X month, I think it's February and October, then that's where their guarantee goes out the window for the catalog publication. Doesn't mean we're not going to do it, but it either won't get on the publication or it'll happen afterwards as an addenda change.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, similar deadlines.
Anyone else have questions, comments, concerns?
Hi, this is Emily from University of Central Florida. Like Dr. Jensen said, we're just in our implementation stage right now. Part of my job is managing the university level curriculum committee. And so I work a lot with creating agendas for them. The agendas include course and program proposals. And then from all of our, I think we have 11 colleges throughout the university. So the agendas can get quite lengthy. I was wondering if anyone had experience creating those and how that's working for you.
We do create those. Our catalog editor creates them, as well as our graduate area person creates agendas, as well as each of the departments have the opportunity to build their agendas as well. What we have found that's really, really helpful is using proposal groups. And I'm hoping that's something that Kuali keeps around. They can group all of their program changes, their course changes for a particular program in one group. And when they get to the meetings, not only is it attached to the agenda, but when they get to the meetings, they can go to the proposal group and just, you know, vote right there down the line, approve, 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 which is really sped up the meetings because they can just do blanket approvals. Whereas if we didn't use the proposal groups, they would have to go into each one, which still isn't bad, but this is a lot faster. And also, since everything's attached to the agenda, you might have a really long list of courses and programs, but it's just a link to them. So it's not as bad. I'm hoping they'll actually beef up the functionality for proposal groups. So we'll see what happens. That's our wish list. I hope that helped. If anybody wants to talk more, you're free to contact me anytime. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm learning by trial and error, but we've done really, really well so far. And I want to thank you all for coming and have a great time. I've enjoyed Kuali Days.
Thank you.
Thanks for hosting us.
Thank you. Thank you for talking. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.